How to get someone you like to ask you out and fall in love with you. If you're too nervous to ask someone you like out, in this video, you'll learn how to get them to ask you out. There are many reasons why you might be too nervous to ask your crush out. You may be afraid of rejection. The moment itself may scare you. Or you may be worried about stumbling over your words. But what if you could turn it around and learn how to get your partner to ask you out? First of all, I get it. I've been there myself. Once I even got a friend to get me a guy's number, so I could text him to ask him out instead of talking to him. We all know how that feels. But if you don't want to take that step, you're lucky. Instead of asking your crush out, you can learn how to get him to ask you out. How to get your crush to ask you out. Planting the seed. First things first. If you want to convince someone to go out with you, you need to remove his insecurities and doubts. Take all the reasons why you haven't asked him or her out of the equation. How do you do this? 1. Make sure they know you are available. If someone wants to go out with you, one of the main reasons they won't ask you out is because they don't know if you are available. So if you want your crush to know you're single and ready to commit, say so. You don't want to walk up to them and say, "I'm single," because then you might as well ask them out. Instead, mention that it's been a long time since you've had a good date. Subtle hints are the way to go. 2. Let her know what you like to do. If you do all the work subtly, your crush will only have to ask one question when it's time to ask you. So tell him what you'd like to do on a date. Tell him about a new premiere you want to see, a fusion restaurant you want to try, or even a museum or hiking trail that interests you. This will plant the seed for new ideas. 3. Show that you like it. Another reason people hesitate to ask someone out is fear of rejection. This is probably one of the reasons why you don't want to do it. So let them know that you wouldn't turn them down. You can say something like, "Why can't I meet a guy or girl like you?" You can even ask them how their love life is. All this gives them subtle clues to ask you out. These conversations are a bit abstract, but they put you and dating in your crush's head at the same time, which is a good start. How to get your crush to ask you out. Water the seed. Now that you've introduced the idea of you and a date to your crush in the same sentence, it becomes more realistic. You've planted the seed in your crush's head. If you want it to sprout, you need to use more methods that don't just influence his or her thoughts. The following methods to get your crush to ask you out involve more subconscious cues. These cues will make him think of you romantically without knowing you have anything to do with it. 1. Flirting. Flirting is an ideal way to show that you are interested without being too obvious. Since flirting can be more or less friendly, they may not read between the lines, but they will pick up on it. Tease them, crack a few jokes and show your best side. 2. Involve them in group activities. If you don't want to ask them out on a date, invite them to group activities where you can spend more time together. Let's say you invite your crush to go bowling, but you spend most of your time together. You will see where your attention is. 3. Use your body language. Body language is the strongest and quietest way to get your crush to ask you out. When you cross your legs, make eye contact, rub their arm when they make you laugh, you're not saying anything, but you're also saying everything at once. These little touches don't click so well in the brain, but they are an emotional gateway to their subconscious. How to get your crush to ask you out. Watch him or her grow up. Now it's time to take the final steps to make sure your crush asks you out. In other words, these tricks should seal the deal. 1. Show your interest. I know I've said something along these lines before, but this time you're going to be less subtle. Instead of hinting your interest in your crush, ask them questions. Try to get to know them better, just as you would on a date. By getting emotionally close, by talking about her family, her past or her passions, you show that you are interested in her and want to know more. 2. Do other things together. If your goal is a date, do other things together. But don't call it a date. It can happen slowly without either of you having to ask the other out. I'm not saying you should go to a 5-star restaurant together. But you can go hiking, shopping, or even help build a piece of furniture from IKEA together. All these things can help you become closer and build a bond. This way you still have the benefits of dating, but without all the pressure. 3. Dress up. You are in the bottom of the 9th inning. The score is tied. It's time to do something big. You want to get your crush's attention, so he really sees you as someone he could date. I'm not saying you need a new outfit, but do something unusual. Comb your hair differently, spray on some perfume, buy a new outfit. Do something that makes them feel like a cartoon character's, jaw dropped to the floor, and their heart shot out of their eyes. 4. Walk away if you have to. If you want to get your crush to ask you out, you can do anything until you ask them out yourself. But sometimes they just don't get it. Some aren't aware of it, and others, unfortunately, just aren't interested. If you've tried everything and waited patiently, finally take the plunge and ask your crush out or give up. I don't want to advise anyone to give up. Sometimes that is the only answer. If you've done all this and still haven't received an invitation to dinner and a movie, maybe he just doesn't like you. You have made it clear that you are interested. If you are not, they will not make a move. Now it's time to decide whether to take a risk or move on. Learning how to get your partner to ask you out is easier than you think. Be prepared for any outcome, though, because nothing is foolproof. If you want to know how to get your crush to like you and gradually fall in love with you without asking him or her out, here's what you need to do. How to get your crush to like you, the steps you need to focus on. You're probably sitting around thinking that it's impossible for them to like you. Well, there's nothing wrong with believing that your crush is perfect. But that makes it impossible for you to see them as another person, or even try to get close to them. If you want to get rid of your approach anxiety, and get her to really like you, start with this guide on how to approach your crush, and get her to notice you. This will give you the confidence you need to approach your crush, and get their attention in the right way. And once you've done that, be yourself and follow these helpful and surefire methods to get your crush to like you and ignite the spark in his or her heart in no time. 1. Be yourself. Please don't laugh at the cliché of this first step, because it is crucial. Too many people approach their crush and start acting like a completely different person. Why do they do that? When you act like yourself, you are relaxed, calm and happy, and your crush will see that and love it. And when he or she finally reciprocates your feelings, he or she will genuinely like you for yourself and not for the person you pretend to be. Sure, you can pretend to be someone else. And yes, you can make someone fall in love with you by pretending. But in the end, they will see your true colors. That's why it's important that you stay true to yourself, no matter what. They need to fall in love with you and not the person you are pretending to be in front of them or on social media. 2. Subtly show them that you are interested. Don't make a big show, but give subtle hints that you are interested in them. A good way to do this is to make comments that suggest this. If they ask you if you are going to a particular event, reply, "Only if you are going," or add a sly smile to pique their interest. This shows them that you want to be where they are, and that you don't care if anyone else is around. As long as they are there, you want to be there. 3. Express your personality. Yes, your goofy, crazy, awesome personality needs to come out of the pretentious shell you've trapped it in if you really want your crush to like you. Your personality is what makes you likable in the first place. Surprisingly, it's those little quirks that someone will like the most about you. So let them out, and don't hold back if you really want your crush to fall in love with you. 4. Show your compatibility. Show him that you can keep up with his lifestyle. Is the man you like a workaholic? Make time for him on his days off. If the woman you are interested in is committed to environmental issues, you can talk to her about your willingness to go green. Show, without changing your personality, that the two of you would be a good match. 5. Make her jealous. Nothing brings out hidden feelings more than making someone jealous. Many people don't even realize they have feelings for you until they get jealous. It is often the first emotion that occurs before they realize you are special to them. 6. Make friends with their friends. This part is crucial. You might be a little nervous about approaching your crush. Then why don't you talk to his friends first? They'll get a good idea of who you are, and by the time you talk to your ex, they'll already know who you are. And if they're friends like you, that's a good start. If you want to take things slowly until you feel confident, make friends with their friends. Once you get their friends talking about how great you are, they won't be able to help it, they'll see you in a whole new light. 7. Keep in touch with them. It's best to send text messages from time to time. Texting keeps the line of communication open, and you can learn a lot about someone, and they can learn a lot about you, if you keep in touch regularly. It also takes away any nervousness you might have about talking in person. Plus, you can flirt a lot without fear of confrontation.